And now we are joined by our race-winning driver, Kyle Larson, with the number 5 Hendrick Chevrolet. And I tell you what, Kyle, you punched your ticket to the Championship 4 in Phoenix with what an incredible run out there. Walk us through the race from your perspective.
Yeah, no, it was a really good race for us and our team. You were able to get to the lead early, and was kind of struggling with my balance out in the lead early in the race. I was really loose, and they had to make some big adjustments and got our balance to a better spot, and still wasn't quite perfect, and had some cautions work out in the first stage to get the first stage win. Then the second stage, I got really loose and about crashed off of 2, and then the caution came out shortly after that. Kind of got to re-rack them and put new tires on and go win that stage. So just a lot of cautions fell at the right time throughout the race. Same thing in the third stage, and then the pit crew did a great job on that final stop to get us control the race and kind of stretch out enough to where I knew they were going to be coming at the end, and just was going to hope that I had enough time to hold on, which thankfully we did.
Okay, we'll open the floor for questions. We're going to start with Zach and then go to Jeff.
Zach Sterniello, NASCAR.com. Kyle, congratulations on this. That finish with Bell right on your tail and closing the gap, were you confident through 3 and 4 that you were going to be able to hold him off? What was going through your mind there?
No, I wasn't confident. When the 43 let us go, which I was very thankful for, and then I was like, the whole way down the back, I'm like, come on. I was hoping the 38 was going to run the middle or top, and because I wanted that clean air for the bottom. And when he pulled down the bottom, I knew I couldn't follow him because it was just going to choke me down too much. And I didn't really know what to do at that point. So I thought my best bet or an opportunity for me to at least hold on the lead off of 4 was to go to the middle and hope that it had enough grip. I hadn't been there that whole run. And so, yeah, I peeled to the middle and was really loose and knew that Christopher was going to be able to get a run. And thankfully, he wasn't able to get to my outside before he got to the exit. And then kind of looked at my mirror and just had to zig and zag a little bit. And he hit me square in the back bumper and kind of closed off the win for me. So, yeah, got much closer than I wanted it to, but thankfully we were able to edge out a win, and thankfully, Christopher ran us really clean there off of 4.
Second question, you gave him that thumbs up coming back to victory lane, passing him on pit road. What's the respect level between the two of you, and especially how things played out at the end?
Yeah, I mean, that was just me kind of showing respect and saying thanks in a way for having us race it out. Obviously, I'm happy because I won, but he's always been a really fair, clean racer. We've had numbers and numbers of battles in stock cars, but mostly in dirt track, and I'm typically the one that is the aggressor or the aggressive one in our battles, and probably push the limit of being dirty sometimes. So for him to continue to race me clean, I definitely have a ton of respect for him. Always have. He's, in my opinion, one of the best race car drivers in the world, and could do everything that I get to do outside of NASCAR if his team would let him. So, it's just fun to get to battle with a guy like that. I knew his car was going to be good the whole race. I got to lead right off the bat, and then he was better than me there the first run. So I knew he was going to be the guy to beat probably all race. So, yeah, just a lot of fun, and glad we were able to come out the winner.
We're going to go to Jeff, then to Jero, then to Jonathan, then to Jerry.
My question is in a similar vein to Zach's, in terms of like the shared background that you guys have and all the Chili Bowl battles and various midget battles and stuff like that. Like, is there any special significance to take that and duel here on like a bigger, high-profile spotlight?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how fans view it, but I really enjoy getting to race a guy in the Cup Series that when we were starting out racing with each other, we weren't either of us in the Cup Series. So, I think, his story and all of that with me being with Toyota and then not, moving forward with them, and then them kind of pushing him along, after they felt like they lost an opportunity on me, was kind of, I feel like I'd take pride a little bit in that he is in the Cup Series, maybe partly because of me. But then, too, I mean, he kicked my ass for a few years straight, like every race. I don't know if I ever beat him. So, yeah, I had to work. He made me work really hard to get better as a driver. especially on the dirt track stuff. So, and then yeah, we've had our run-ins along the way, just tight racing for wins and stuff, and then now I feel like we actually get along and we talk quite a bit, and then get to race with a lot of respect on Sundays, on TV in front of millions of race fans. So yeah, it's cool, and just neat to get to race with a guy like that, and I'm sure he'll be one of the guys to beat at Phoenix too when he's in the Final Four.
Kyle back here. Herrera, UNLV Road Report. Can you just walk me through your week, right? You won the sprint car championship. I mean, did the Indy 500 rookie orientation. Now you lock yourself into the championship for. What's this week been emotionally for you?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's been a memorable week, a little bit maybe crazier than normal, but my weeks stay pretty crazy, so it felt pretty normal in a way, was awesome, obviously, to close out the High Limit Championship on Tuesday at Lincoln Park, and then, from there, get focused on driving the IndyCar for the first time. That all went really smooth and was an awesome experience, getting to do something I've dreamt of for a long time, and that's just make laps in an IndyCar at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So, yeah, the ROP went great, and then came here to Vegas knowing that we were going to have a car capable of winning, and was able to get the job done without, or with a lot of luck along the way. So just a cool week and one that I'll definitely never forget.
Go next to Jonathan.
Jonathan Field, the racing experts, ESPN Radio Albuquerque. Just want to know what was going through your mind when you were sliding out for turn 2.
Yeah, I mean, well, I was getting really loose at that point, and it's so bumpy in 1 and 2 that, when you are loose, it makes it even worse going across those bumps. And I got a little out of shape, had a moment, and thought I had it saved, but usually when you do that, it just aggravates things, and it stepped out really quick. And honestly, it was, thinking I was just gonna spin and then hit the inside wall, and about that time, I clipped the outside wall and got lucky, and then was just thinking that I was gonna do it again because now my right rear tire was scorched. I was so loose, for the next however many laps before the caution came out. But thankfully, that caution came out. Kind of got to take a deep breath and really just forget about that. Try to forget about that moment as quick as possible and get refocused on the race ahead.
As a follow-up, how do you think the racing on intermediates has evolved with the Gen 7 car over the last year?
So, yeah, I mean, I think the intermediate stuff, and I don't know how it looked on TV, but from my vantage point, I thought this was a great race. It was, the leader never, as big as a lead that the leader got to was as much as I did that last run, and then they were able to still catch me at the end, and we have a photo finish basically. So whatever it is about the next-gen car, and I'm sure it was just an accident when they built it, but I mean, I don't mean that negatively, but I don't think anybody can draw a car up to where you're almost at a disadvantage while leading. But with the next-gen car, the leader just, I don't know what it is, but you have so much more load, with the clean air on your car that, you wear out the right rear tire so much faster. So that's why, the leader always gets loose. That's why, Bell was really loose in front of us the run before the last one. There was 5, 6, or 7 of us all close to him. Every run, the leader, he has the most of a balance shift throughout the run. So, yeah, it just makes the racing really tight because the leader has his hands full after 15, 20 laps and can't really get away. So that's what I was fighting with at the end. And it's just, it's cool because, on TV, it keeps us all really close and the finishes seem to be really exciting because of it.
We're going to go to Jerry, then to Kelly, then to Tino, then to Joe.
Jerry Jordan kicking the tire.net. You actually, in 14 laps, the final 14, you went from 1.5 seconds ahead to 0.08 at the line. So you needed to know those numbers or anything, but that was how much he was gaining on you. Yesterday, you came in here and you said you like this track, you like this round. Now you're locked into the championship. What's your plan? What's your goal? And do you just trophy hunt for the rest of the?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's nice to win and lock in and can focus on Phoenix. But at the same point, you can't really look too far ahead of yourself. You know, there's still 2 other races before then that, you know, I put a lot of pressure on myself going to Homestead. I want to have a great run there, and I want to dominate, honestly. I want to, you know, win both stages by 15 seconds and win the race by 30. So that's my goal. So I'm not thinking really ahead of Homestead yet. And then, you know, Martinsville as well. You know, I want to go there and have another good run like we had earlier this year and go into Phoenix with a lot of confidence and momentum. So, you know, if tomorrow I started worrying about Phoenix and then had 2 bad runs at Homestead and Martinsville, I think, you know, that would kill our momentum and confidence for Martinsville, or for Phoenix. So just put a lot of pressure on myself and our team to not get complacent and treat every race like it means something.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. Kyle, that kind of blows where I was going to go with this question, because you have these 2 weeks, and you've spoken about how it helps just mentally to have these 2 weeks to not have to worry. So let me shift it this way then. In 2021, when you went into the championship 4, you had never been there before. You didn't know what to expect. It was all new for the first time. So even as you focus on Homestead and Martinsville, though, how will this feel different, having that experience, knowing what's ahead for Phoenix when you get past these 2 weeks and not having to go in eyes wide open?
I don't know. I mean, it's tough. It's tough saying. I don't really know if anything about when I was in the Final Four at Phoenix last time surprised me, because I mean, although I hadn't been in the Final Four before, you're still part of the race. So, you know, it's still another race. So I think on that aspect, it didn't change anything then. You know, maybe, I guess, just seeing how the media week's going to be different this year versus then, you know, because we were still kind of COVID maybe a little bit then. But I don't know. I mean, I think more than anything, I'm glad that I won, obviously, and locked in, but I like that now I can go to Homestead, Martinsville, and just race. Like, you're not really focused on points. Like, you can be a little more aggressive now. You're trying to, just win, really, is the goal. And at the same point, you know, you don't want to piss anybody off, you know, before we get to Phoenix. So that's also a goal, is to, you know, race everybody fairly and not, you know, be a part of the story, really, the next couple weeks, other than winning would be great. But yeah, I don't know, just try not to get too far ahead of ourselves, really.
Tino?
Hey, Kyle, congrats on the win. We talked yesterday about how you felt William Byron had the advantage in being the championship favorite. Does winning this race now give you the edge?
I don't know. Williams still had a really good day, and, you know, car speed-wise was probably off of what they're used to having here, it seems like, this year. But, again, I mean, he took what he had and made the most of it today. So I haven't seen the points, but I still don't take my eyes off of William at all. Him and his team they've done the best job overall from start of the weekend to the end of the weekends, every weekend. Whether they win or not, they seem to maximize their days. So, but, you know, there's a lot of tough competitors too. I think Ryan Blaney, honestly, he surprised me today. You know, I felt like this wasn't going to be a great round for him, but or at least start of a round, and I thought he did a great job today. And every one of the teams in the round of 8, I think we're up there kind of battling. So, it'll be interesting as we now go into these next 2, and, you know, thankfully we've got the win and don't have to worry about points.
Go to Joe, then to Adam, then Nicole, and we'll wrap with Zach.
Joseph Igo, Racing Experts. Kyle, Phoenix in the spring obviously was a great race for you. You guys led the most laps. The 4 ends up catching you, and then a couple wild restarts at the end ultimately spoiled it. What stands out when you look back at that day, and what can you take from that day into the championship race?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what I take from it was just a missed opportunity to win on my part. You know, the team did everything on their end to get us in position to win. And, again, you know, William just executed a better restart than me and was able to get that win. So there's, you know, it sucks to not win, but there's so much to be learned from that, that final restart and just really the way the whole race played out. So, yeah, I mean, I'll study that a lot in case I'm in that position again and try to do a better job going forward. But, yes, Phoenix was a great track for us. Short tracks really in general have been our strong suit, this year. So would love to go to Phoenix and have a great car again. But as you saw today, versus the spring, William and I were way better than the field in the spring here, and look at the field. Everybody got a lot better coming back. So it's going to be the same thing at Phoenix when we get there in a few weeks. Everybody's going to be a lot better than they were, in the spring. So just got to work really hard and study and try to execute a good weekend.
Adam?
Hey, Kyle, Adam Carabine, RacingRefresh.com. I know you won the championship 2 years ago. How does this year feel different as a group? Do you feel you're coming in with less wins, I guess, but how does it feel different?
Honestly, it feels very similar. I mean, I know in the win column it doesn't show that, but sheer speed and stuff, I feel like we've been very similar to we were in 2021. We've probably contended for as many wins as we did then. Just it's just tougher. These next gen races are tougher to win than it was back then is all. So in a lot of ways, like I said, it feels similar, and I've said that all along since the beginning of the year. This feels very similar to 2021. So thankfully we're in position like we were in 2021, and hopefully we can cap it off like we did then too.
Cole?
Cole Guzman with Arizona Republic. Congrats on the win, Kyle. We've seen your team time and time again just be lights out on pit road and specifically on the money stop. I'm curious what that does for you in the race car. Is that pump you up? What do you get out of that when you have a really fast stop for the money stop?
I love cautions and I love pit stops. I do. I look forward to coming down pit road. I have got a ton of confidence in my guys, and they showed today, why they're one of the best on pit road. Hendrick Motorsports as a whole, really, all 4 teams, even the development teams, all do a great job. So that's a huge thank you to the coaching staff and everybody there in the pit department. So, yeah, they've had to work on it, though, for sure. Last year we were not ranked great on pit road, where this year, we've been in the top 2 or 3 all season long. So, yeah, I look forward to coming down pit road right now because I know my guys can get me out in front.
Good deal. Well, Kyle, congratulations on the victory. Good luck next week in Homestead, and we'll see you in the Championship 4.
Yep, thank you.